Hi, everyone. My name is Lynn McEntee, and I'm your host for Youth Connections Café. We're a program that's hosted by Mokshacanadafoundation and bellletstalk, and we're all about underscoring the needs of our youth in the community and mental health awareness and supports. We're about connecting, creating, and inspiring the youth of today. So we welcome you to this conversation, whether you're listening or tuning in now or in the future. Thank you so much for being here today. Just going to take a moment to do a land acknowledgement. Although we're meeting on the virtual platform, just respectfully acknowledge the space that we're all on today. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we're on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we all call home. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for allowing us to be here. And again, we're here for Bell Let's Talk, Youth Connections Café. Connect, create, and inspire are some keywords that we like to use in our conversation. I always have amazing guests, and I have an amazing guest here today. But firstly, again, I want to thank Moksha Canada Foundation for allowing us to be here, and Bell Let's Talk. If you have any ideas for programming, follow us on social media, tag a friend, tell two friends, let them know about us. And if you have any ideas, we would love to hear from you. I could tell you a little bit more about the programming a little bit later. Amazing guest today. I have Ximena Moreno, who is the studio lead at Creative Works Studio from Good Shepherd Nonprofit Homes. And I'll just do a little bit about Creative Works Studio, and then I'll go right into the conversation with our lovely guest here today. We also have a guest attendee, Jack, who's joining us, who has been a guest speaker before, and he may pose some questions to our guest speaker. Again, my name is Lynn McEntee. I'm your humble host today. Creative Works Studio, CWS, is operated by Good Shepherd Nonprofit Homes, Incorporated, as a community arts-based studio. The studio was founded in 1995 by an occupational therapist and practicing artist with a vision that these two occupations could have significant benefits for persons living with mental illness and or addictions. The Creative Works Studio mandate is to provide individuals living with mental illness and or addictions a place to heal through the power of artistic expression. And I'd like to welcome our guest, Ximena. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are our guest expert.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to share all the knowledge here from the Creative Works Studio, what we do.
Amazing.
And the importance of art in our lives.
Very much so. Thank you so much. And just we're having a living room conversation, if you will, and we'll keep it very informal, although we've posed questions to Ximena. We can use those as talking points, but we can launch into other parts of conversation as we see appropriate. Thank you a lot.
Sure.
So can you tell us about yourself?
Yes. Well, like you said, my name is Ximena Moreno. I studied art. I began exploring art in my early teens, and then I studied art, and then I studied expressive arts therapy. What really got me into art was that when I was younger, when I first started exploring, I saw that my art mirrored what was happening inside of me. And I found that fascinating. And I thought, okay, I want to study art and help people through the arts. I saw how it was benefiting me in my own journey. And I thought it would be a good way to help other people.
Well, what's standing out to me is that it mirrored what was happening inside you. And so maybe we can kind of keep that in the forefront of what we're thinking about and talking about today. And we'll kind of branch into the next question. That's awesome. It's good to hear a little bit about you at the onset. And then if you could tell us, what is Creative Works Studio?
Sure. Yeah. Creative Works Studio is an art studio for people with mental health and addiction. It was mostly for adults, but recently we've added a youth program. We think it's really important to have something for our youth. So we have slowly incorporating a youth program as we speak.
Wow, that's exciting. So we've caught you at an exciting time, and as
Absolutely.
things evolve and grow into another platform there. It's really
Hmm.
awesome. I mentioned the founder, and I don't know if you can briefly speak to that and sort of what the focus is for Creative Work Studio. I guess, do you have a specific age range? You've kind of mentioned that you had adults before, and
Yes.
you're now developing the program for
Uh,
youth.
yes, from
Yeah,
16 and up.
16 and
So,
up.
yes, it was
Wow.
18 and up. Now we've decided 16 and up. We find that there's a gap in things that are missing for adolescents. We see that there's a lot of programs up to like 12, and then it's kind of a empty space that there's something missing. So we decided that we could open the space up to younger people and offer all kinds of different interesting activities that they can get involved through the arts.
Wow, that's really cool and exciting
Mm-hmm.
times. I like to
Mm-hmm.
underscore that because it is for not only as you as colleagues and professionals working in the field, but anybody new coming into it, getting an opportunity to experience it at a younger age,
Yes.
when the need has always been there, but now addressing that
Yes,
need, right?
for sure.
That's really,
It's
yeah.
Go ahead. No, I think it's really important. I think also with my own experience, when I started exploring art, I was in my teens, and it did, I don't know, I had so many benefits from it. So I think it's important to add a youth program to our studio.
Well, would you feel comfortable to kind of expand upon the mirrored, what was happening inside you,
Hmm.
component?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I was born in Chile, so I came here very young with my family. So at a certain point in my life, around my adolescent, late teens, I started to wonder, well, who am I? Where am I from? So it was a lot of identity issues. And in my work, I kept seeing like, I felt like a Canadian, Chilean, or unsure where I was. And a lot of my work kind of had like double faces, things that a lot of so I could see as soon as well, let me explain. I didn't start working in artwork with an idea. I worked very intuitively. So when I started to see all this coming out, like images of double faces or sometimes fragmented bodies, which represented how I felt emotionally, feeling divided, um, just trying to find myself and coming together, but everything seemed to be divided into two. So it was kind of the way I felt like growing up in Canada between two cultures. So it really represented what I was feeling inside, and it came out intuitively, not me even thinking about it. So I saw how the power of art, because once I saw it, I could kind of process it better, as well as just being involved in the making of that and then being surprised at the end. So not thinking, okay, I want to make an art piece. Let's see what happens when I play with clay. Hmm.
That's cool. And as a newcomer in particular, like I mean, it really is divided between two worlds, really. And
Hmm.
how do you bridge the two, I guess, as far as in
Yeah.
settlement renewal?
Yeah.
So it's not an uncommon story or feeling, right?
No.
Well, I think you would say, and others would say as well too, that I've spoken with. So the ability to be able to bridge the two worlds
Yeah.
together is like exciting,
Hmm.
as you are a youth, a young person
Yeah.
discovering yourself and the
Hmm.
history of Chile. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Just it's so deep and so rich
Yes,
and
yes. And
bringing
I
that.
guess I was learning how to navigate two worlds basically. And it always felt like a revolving door. Like I would leave my house, which was very Chilean, and then walk out the door into a completely different world. So I agree. There's a lot that as a as a teenager, you're looking for your identity. Where do you belong? Who are you? Yeah,
Yeah.
exploring
And
all of that.
And exploring all of that and the fact that we're all interconnected in so many ways. And,
Mm-hmm.
whether someone's a newcomer, they've been here for several years, maybe there's several generations, that's still part
Mm-hmm.
of the core of who
Yeah.
we are and who we're discovering. And as
Mm-hmm.
young people who are
Yeah.
discovering that about them, that is valid. And those are recognizable things that
Mm-hmm.
need to be validated.
Definitely.
Um,
And the sense of belonging too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Belonging. Mm-hmm.
Jack, did you want to insert anything here at this point while we're kind of opening the discussion up and letting it fly where we want to?
Probably not.
Okay, you jump in when you need to, and we'll be here if you have any questions. And for anybody that's listening and tuning in, Jack has been a guest speaker of ours before and a guest expert in other fields of interest. So it's really wonderful to have him here today as well, listening in and participating in the conversation. So getting back to underscoring mental health in young people, and we're Youth Connections Cafe, and we were one of 5 programs, Moksha Canada, across Canada that were chosen. So it's really important that everything that we do, all of our programming that we do, that we underscore the needs of youth and that mental health balance in our communities and how important it is for the richness of our communities to validate that. And that's what we're talking about today. Um, we may double back onto some other things with you there.
Sure.
And right now, our next question is there a criterion for acceptance to programs and access to services? Um,
Um, at the moment, it's just to have an interest in engaging in the arts. A lot of
really?
people come. We have a lot of people that are very beginners in the arts. Like they might have done it in school, but haven't done it for a long time. And there's people that are advanced. So we have all different levels, and the acceptance is wanting to engage in the arts, being part of a community. And that's it right now. We have spaces available. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
encouraging, actually, and that's open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody that's out there and listening and tuning in, we can maybe do a recap at the end of our conversation so that they can reach out to you and further pursue the program,
Sure.
should they have a need.
Oh,
Then,
but you
yeah.
do have to be referred by a doctor, a caseworker, anyone working in the health field in some way.
Mhm.
Doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist. Hmm.
Thank
But
you.
once you refer, then I make an appointment for an orientation. I get to know you a little bit. We have a discussion, and pretty much, if you have the will and the desire to engage in the arts, you're pretty much accepted.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll just jump in. Is it just from so you're based in Hamilton?
No, we're based
Okay.
in Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
We're at 793 Gerard Street at Logan.
Okay. Do you have a branch in Hamilton? I know someone
There
before.
is we do have Good Shepherd in Hamilton, but there's no creative work studio
Okay.
there.
Got
There's
it.
no art studios yet,
Okay.
hopefully. Hmm.
Yeah, I know someone was asking me about that actually because we had interviewed someone from Grenfell Ministries,
Okay.
which is from the Hamilton region, and wondered if perhaps they're doing the similar type of work, trying to reach
Hmm.
the similar type of
Hmm.
young people, if you will. So that's cool. Okay, so based in Toronto right now, hoping to branch out, maybe perhaps in the Hamilton region,
In the
hopefully even
future.
across Ontario, and we also reach across Canada as well, in terms of our viewers and listeners. So you just
Hmm.
never know where that might take you.
Oh, that would be great.
Exciting, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's cool. So, what is your role as studio lead then at Creative Works Studio?
Okay. My role is to do all the programming, all the art programs. We have a calendar, a monthly calendar with all the schedule, and we have all different kind of activities, workshops, uh, such as painting, sculpture, clay, textile, but also non-clinical counseling I do, as well as intake, um, and just have a safe space for
Mhm.
everyone to feel safe. And we have a community here, so community building. Yeah.
Oh. Then, with the experience that you brought to the table, how has that helped you in terms of setting the tone, setting the environment, creating the environment that you would like as a professional?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I have a history with a creative work studio because when I was studying expressive arts therapy, this was where I did my practicum, where I did my placement. And it's been years now, and I got hired as the lead 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years, and it doesn't take very long for people to feel comfortable in their environment and for people to connect because we're all kind of struggling with similar issues. And so it doesn't take very long to create that environment here, a safe place.
Mm.
And I do have also help. I have an assistant, Johan, and the studio has an assistant. And yeah, so we work together to make the studio run smoothly.
Wow.
And I
Mm.
manage
And manage, yeah.
manager Claudia. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for anybody that is with us in this conversation, it's important to underscore that we all have a story. We're coming to the table with, um, as you had mentioned, issues that
Mm.
can be worked through
Hmm.
with a community.
Yes. The support of a community is so important. And here it's a very strong community. We all help each other out. Um, whether it's art or supportive emotionally, whatever's needed, there's a strong bond with the
Mhm,
members.
mhm, mhm. And I think that trust factor is so key,
Hmm.
almost like a safety net, if you will,
Yes.
allowing yourself to, I guess, unravel, unpack,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to the art process as well and the balance of our mental health, and complementing the two, if you will.
Hmm.
Could you speak to more of that just from your professional opinion?
Uh, yes, I feel like, well, the art studio has one big room where we all sit and create together and work together. And I think that like people when they first come in, I see magic happen. When they first come in, it's like they're very overwhelmed, maybe a lot of stress. But I see the magic after maybe 3 months that they come consistently and are engaging in artwork and in the community. There's a complete change, a transformation, which is incredible to watch. And I've seen it over and over and over again. So the power of the arts and community, I feel like it's so important for our mental health.
Mhm, mhm. No, that's awesome. Anything at this point, Jack, you wanted to ask a question, or are you still good?
Yeah, I'm still good.
Okay, super
Mhm.
duper. I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging an insert if needed. That's cool. It's awesome to hear about your work. It's awesome to experience you in this conversation because
Mhm.
you bring a lot to the table. And you mentioned that, your family came from Chile, and I think that's key and what you bring to the table as a colleague, right?
Mhm.
And as an educator.
Yes. I
Yeah.
think my personal experience, having lived in Chile during the first years of the dictatorship, really marked me. And I found that art really helped me through a lot of the traumas that I lived through. And and that's how I got into this field. Like I saw how art is so powerful and how it helped me and I can see it how it helps others. It's definitely has marked being a Chilean has marked me and it has moved me towards wanting to help others in the same way that people helped me when I first arrived. Yeah.
Wow, marked and moved, the key words I kind of picked up there in your conversation.
Hmm.
And yeah, I could totally see that moving you, as it's, wow, it's very deep, very, very deep, if you
Hmm.
will. Thank you for sharing a bit of that, and maybe we'll explore a little bit more. Was the arts in your family, or was it?
I do come from a creative family. My mom did in more traditional things like sewing and knitting, And my dad really liked music. So there's 4 siblings and we're all mostly in the arts.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. But I think also when I look at other Chileans, there's a lot of Chileans in the arts, which are not necessarily in their family background, but it might be a way that we all coped with what had happened. Hmm.
That's a key part of the conversation. Thank you for
And I
that.
just want to add just how in this, like us as Chileans, refugees, but now there's refugees. There has always been refugees from everywhere. It's such a, you know, ongoing thing
Mhm.
of people having to leave their countries and start all over. And I also worked in a refugee house helping. Actually, right now, the Creative Work Studio is I go to a shelter once every 2 weeks. It's called First Homes, where there's refugees from Africa, different parts of Africa.
That's great.
Hmm.
That's encouraging. And
Hmm.
was that recommended by the work that you're doing presently?
Uh,
Did you put that forward or?
uh, well, we wanted to reach out to different programs and agencies where it was needed. Yeah.
That's
But,
incredible, and I can
hmm.
totally appreciate that. Working with in the past survivors of trauma, newcomers, and such, and
Hmm.
it's in the forefront of everything that we do, and so therapeutic
Hmm.
exploration is so key to
Yes.
resettlement. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
That's awesome. I had the pleasure of working with an archaeologist from Chile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and over the some time ago, but just learned so much. It was just about the history and
Hmm.
resettlement here,
Yes.
but just incredible, incredible.
Hmm.
So, I'm just
Oh,
so thrilled
that's
to have you.
interesting.
Yeah, really interesting, and I learned like really, I could not have spent enough time with the person. I just needed more to learn more and grow.
Right.
I grew so much as a person by listening.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool. Really interesting. Okay, I'll just go through some of the
sure.
formalized questions, I guess. What are the underlying themes, I guess, of Creative Work Studio? We've talked about it a little bit, but if you wanted to expand.
Um, well, the underlying themes is basically art-based program, but we also have fitness. We do an exercise class every day at 11. We have mindfulness every Thursday at from 4 to 5. And then I think the most important thing besides the art is building a community where people feel safe and have a voice and are heard. And
Mhm.
yeah, I would say that's what we have here at this Creative Work Studio.
Mhm. Is now participating in all of those, is that a requirement, or is that someone can look at from the side, or join in as they feel comfortable, or can they take
Mhm.
one part of the program and not the other until they work up some, I guess, courage, if you will? Um,
Yeah, it's very, very flexible here. We're open from 11 till 5. You can come in at any time during those hours. You can stay for an hour. You could stay for the whole day if you like. And you're welcome to work on your own project if if you're not comfortable, or you can work on your own project anytime. And you're welcome to join in the workshops or the fitness at your own pace whenever you want. There's no pressure whatsoever. It's very flexible to what you feel comfortable doing, what you want to try, what you want to learn. um, there's no requirement, and you can come any day. You can come 4 days a week or one day a week. It's really up to you and depending on the schedule or what you feel comfortable doing. So in that way, we're very, very flexible.
And for our young audience that's listening and tuning in, it's very key because we're all looking for a safe space to explore and acknowledge who we are and are growing as a person. So to know that
Mm-hmm.
that's available is
Mm-hmm.
100% key in order to take that next step. So that's interesting. I want this is not on the list of questions, but yeah, I guess maybe we could go with this one. what clients and populations do you serve? We kind of spoke about that a little bit. Is there anybody you could highlight without mentioning names, but just maybe some of the work that they're doing, what brought them to Creative Works? Yeah.
There's some, well, everyone has a different kind of mental health illness. And if I have to talk about one person, someone who's been here now for about a year, who suffered a lot of trauma, and I've seen a transformation over. She always liked art, but now has felt, like I say, after a certain amount of time, you see the transformation, and now she feels very welcome here. Very welcome part. She calls us a family now, like her chosen family, which I think is very special, because at first she came in feeling like she didn't fit in, that no one liked her and no one wanted to speak to her. Of course, some of those things were very projections, but slowly she is now like she's doing workshops here. She's doing writing workshops. She's doing all kinds of things, and speaks about the studio as being her chosen family, where she feels comfortable, where she feels safe, where she shares, sometimes we share meals together. So it's a beautiful change to see someone change and flourish that way. And her artwork has also, she has grown so much as a person, but you can see it in her artwork.
That's incredible.
Yeah, the colors, the themes. Mostly she does abstracts, but they're very vibrant and alive, and like there's a lot of movement. When I mean alive, there's a lot of movement when you look at it. Very like yeah, a lot of layers to it. And that happens a lot. I mean, that's one person, but it's happened like most of the members. I mean, some of them don't come in here feeling so so not disliked, but some of them they adapt easier and some don't. But all, like, they've all have challenges at first, and slowly they see it's a safe space. People are here to support each other, and slowly. But again, I say over a 3-month period, I see a change if they come consistently.
Wow.
Yeah, it is quite incredible. I just love the work because it's like magic. The power of the arts is like magic for me. And
Yeah.
I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it happen daily here in the Creative Work Studio.
And we can all use a little magic in our lives, and to uncover the layers that are part of all of us.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting. So you're talking about that one person in particular, but as you mentioned, everyone that comes through that door is affected, and in a very positive way, from what we're hearing.
Yes.
And that takes a team effort to do that. But also the person, the commitment of the person to allow that to happen is very key.
Yeah, to feel safe enough to open up, to be in the space and flourish. It's they definitely have to feel safe, and it doesn't take long to feel safe here, because I say, as the members are very welcoming, very encouraging, and they all know they were here like once at that same specific. The first time here was similar, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely. I'm so glad that we have an opportunity to speak with you. I feel so relaxed, and I know our listeners will be feeling that as well too. And I feel like we've known each other for years. So I can imagine.
That's nice.
Yeah, a compliment to you for that. And
thank you.
Of course, and I think it's a key to allow yourself to be vulnerable. In that creative space is like. It doesn't always happen, right?
It doesn't always happen, and sometimes it takes a bit longer.
Yeah.
For people open up at different points, but I think it's part of the process. So here we're very patient, we're very encouraging, we're very supportive where the individual is at. There's no pressure for people to open up. There's no pressure for sharing. we do have every day we have a check-in in the mornings and in the afternoon where we go around asking, how are you doing today? It's a short check-in of 2 minutes, but no one, people share, and people that don't feel ready, they don't, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that empowerment to workshop with other people. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned this person in particular, how they now do workshops, and
Yes.
that is so cool and so
Yeah.
speaks so much to the atmosphere.
Yes. And
Mhm.
it's so nice. Like everyone has something that they know that they want to share. So a lot of our members have done workshops, different workshops, writing workshops, mask making workshops. So it's like exchanging of knowledge between everyone, which is great. And I feel that that's very empowering to share your knowledge and teach people what you know, and to receive the feedback, which is always amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's an empowering as a reciprocal and
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful to watch too. And
Mhm.
we all learn. I mean, I take part in those workshops as well. We all share the space, we create together, and I think Creative Work Studio is a very special place.
Mhm.
I wish there was more, like you say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And would you mind if I ask about the work that people do? Has there ever been a show or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a yearly show. It's called the Art Gems. It's
Mhm.
usually in the springtime. This year was in April, and it's an art auction. So there's professional artists, emerging artists who donate their artwork, and the studio artists. And it's a show where it's auctioned, so all the money goes to the studio. For all the art supplies, we supply all the art supplies. You don't have to pay anything. We provide snacks, tea, coffee. So all that goes into the Creative Work Studio, but as well as the money that actually the artwork that the members make, they get the money. If they sell their work, they get 100% of the of the money for their artwork, which is really great. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, we plan an art show for November here at the studio, so they can sell their work to, they invite friends, families, and we post it on social media. And sometimes we also go to craft shows.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
As far as in the schools, is there an opportunity to shine light on the programming in the school system right now, or with other educators? Since you're going to be addressing a population that is a little bit younger.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I hadn't thought of that, but
Yeah.
that's amazing. I think that's where we should go, like reach out to them, and so we can promote our programs to youth. Definitely.
Yeah.
I never had thought of that. The schools. I'm going to different agencies and
Good.
stuff, but I didn't think of schools. But yeah, that would be the best place, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And just to have that partnership that will just foster in itself, opportunities for even just the guest speakers,
Yes.
in this regard, shining light on mental health, yes, addictions, yes, but community
Mm-hmm.
is really what I'm hearing in all of this conversation. It really
Mm-hmm.
is a community, and it takes a village, it takes a community,
Yes.
and I think we
I
all.
agree. Yes. The arts are just as important as the community together is powerful.
That's cool.
A lot of people come here and say this is like their home, their second home. And it also gives you structure. It gives them structure to their lives. Like some people say, oh, if I didn't have this, I wouldn't get up in the morning. But now I have somewhere to go, somewhere to be, some people that I share my time with. And that's also important. It gives them a different focus. They're out of, if you're doing artwork, you're not thinking so much. You're focusing on what you're doing. So for a time period, you escape whatever those little voices might be saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. And so we're talking about how important arts is in our daily lives and mental health stability, addiction recovery. Do you see them as the same, or if you will, as much as you can speak to that, and someone, how different are they? Or they're kind of there's a crossover, I think, between
I
the
think
two.
there's a crossover. I think, yes, there's definitely a crossover, and I see them pretty much. I was crossover to almost the same. I think my experience here at the Creative Work Studio, what I see,
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
that yes.
yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people are struggling with similar issues here at the Creative Work Studio. So I see, I see that there's a crossover.
Is there an opportunity for mentorship? Not one of the questions we pose, but just
Mm.
thinking out loud actually right now. Is an opportunity for mentorship for someone that's recovering, if you will, to someone that's just entering into the programming to align themselves with initiatives?
Okay. No, but I think that's also a good idea. Um, but like I say, once someone comes in here, when they're new, everyone's like, you know, running to them and saying, okay, what do you need? How can I help you? And helping them in regards to a bit of the emotional needs as well as the artistic needs. Okay, I'll help you. This is where this is at. So there's a lot of help with everyone. But a mentor might be a good idea in the case of youth, maybe. Yeah, more so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that working on like a buddy system of and to some
Hmm.
degree, or even when you're going out into the community, I would imagine that there's an opportunity as you expand the program
Hmm.
to reach people, not necessarily in the school system, but maybe who is afraid to go to establishments,
Yes.
whether it be might be at a festival or something
Hmm.
like that. I know that we do festivals as well through Moksha Canada Foundation.
Oh,
We try to
okay.
promote, anyone and everyone is welcome. So there might be
Hmm.
opportunities to have,
Uh,
you
would
know,
you just like say like a booth at an event or something?
yeah,
That would be, yeah, that
yeah,
would be another way of promoting for sure.
that's
Open
cool.
to all kinds of ideas.
Awesome.
Which you're giving me lots of ideas. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's great. No, for sure. I love it. It's reciprocal and
Hmm.
conversation. It's awesome. Thank you. Um, so I guess we're sort of talking about how it works and
Hmm.
what is the community involvement then? I guess I'm curious about
Um, there's not a
support.
lot of community involvement or
Yeah,
support.
yeah.
But like I said, I go out to different communities and agencies, taking it's like kind of a mobile creative work studio. I
Oh
do a
yeah,
workshop here and a workshop there. And but so far we haven't had a lot of community involvement,
yeah.
but only the creative work studio going out to different communities. Hmm.
Be nice to see how when that evolves more so because it sounds like everyone's doing great work and as you're adding
Hmm.
in different layers and components,
Yes, and we're
um,
working on that. So
yeah,
hopefully, yeah,
you
things will
know,
change.
and that's really cool because when you do see the community partners enter into it and they're learning more. A little note from Jack here, action for inclusion. Yes, that was something that Jack was referencing. Maybe
Mm.
when you have a moment, Jack, we'll get you to speak about that. He was just sending me a little note on the chat there.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Oh yeah, you'd see that. Yeah, pardon
Hmm.
me. So yeah, we also do work with yeah, the police departments, health
Hmm.
services, addictions doctors, and such from across the country, and such. So it's interesting to see when we're able to incorporate collaboration in that
Yes,
regard.
I'm
It's
always, yeah, thinking
awesome.
about, yes.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, also for doctors to do expressive arts, like, yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's
themselves and, their difficult, jobs
For
that you,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, and taking care of the professional as well, who's having to work in the
Mm-hmm.
field.
Yes.
So necessary.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And how important are the programs in the journey of the person with lived experiences? We kind of have spoken about that, but
Mm-hmm.
you have time to expand a little bit more and your passion behind that thought, I guess.
Okay, like I said, I just see people coming in here like from all different suffering all different mental health and addiction. And again, I say like of course they're very hesitant at first, and I just see with time the changes. And I think like I might be repeating myself, but it's the importance of the community as well as the arts together is so powerful that I see the change. And again, it's people with a lot of trauma, with addiction, with schizophrenia, and the similarities that we all have struggles. So I think, yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah, it's
then
great.
not repeat myself, but
Yep.
yeah, it's
May I jump in then and ask about cross-culturally? How do you find that in terms of people coming in? Is that something that has been open? You've had to work on that?
um we are working on that.
Yeah.
It's we've questioned because we are being referred by doctors and health specialists, yet we're not getting a diverse group. So I we started questioning that. Why is that happening? And as now this is quite new,
Yeah.
how are people being referred, and how come certain people are being referred and not others? So that's we're starting to be very aware of that.
Mhm.
And also that I'm also going out and to other community, trying to reach other communities that are not being referred, like the shelter, the refugee shelter. I'm going to a men's shelter, part of Good Shepherd. But so we do try to be inclusive, but we're being referred people. So now the question is, how come only up to yeah, up to a few months ago, we've noticed that there's only certain people being referred, and I'm not sure how to answer that. What is the
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's a topic of
Mm-hmm.
thought,
Yes.
sure, and then moving forward, I guess, as an org as well too, and the community being mindful of that and referrals,
Mm-hmm.
those that are making referrals and
Mm-hmm.
reaching marginalized populations, et cetera,
Yeah. But we get referrals from everywhere, from St. Michael's Hospital, from CAMH, and so there are diverse populations in those
yeah,
hospitals and areas. So
yeah,
it's a really interesting question, actually.
and
I asked myself, like, what's happening, and that's how the idea to start exploring other communities and reaching out to other communities to come into the creative work studio, or communities that have like the men's shelter. There's a lot of disability like movement, and so in that case, I go to them. And the men's shelter, sorry, the refugee center is in North York, so it's harder for them to come, but it's easier for me to go there
yeah,
with my bags of art supplies and stuff.
yeah,
And so, yeah, I think that's something we really started questioning, like at least like almost a year ago.
yeah.
But we do want our intentions always to be inclusive.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
And cross-culturally could also be in terms of the taboo subject, and it's just becoming more accepted to be able to express that someone is going through
Oh,
something,
you mean, yeah.
right? And so sometimes that, providing knowledge or literature to,
Oh, yes.
populations that allows for that thought privately and then perhaps exploring later on too, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. That's nice that you're doing that type of work. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thank you for that. And I'm picturing you in um, immigration services or, kind of a place where you're able to, welcome other people into
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool. Even
Yeah.
a library. Put it out
A library for sure. Yes. I like all your ideas. You're giving me a
Nice.
lot to work with.
Oh, cool, cool. Thank you for
Hmm.
being so open. And I know our time is your time is precious, and we value it so much. And we have a couple of more questions, and
Yeah.
before we wrap up your day, and I know we've talked about the journey. I guess Jack, maybe is this a good time to take a moment for some questions or comments before I finish off with the last couple of questions? Oh, and if
Oh,
people, oh, sorry, Jack, one more thing. If you people wanted to pronounce your name, um, Ms. Moreno,
Oh,
yes,
it's Ximena Moreno.
thank you. Go ahead, Jack.
so my question is, when we had that last meeting way back in January,
Mhm.
I didn't get a message from that lady what was going on with the art thing that I was gonna do with her. I never heard nothing back.
Okay, I can link you both in. Why don't I do that? Yes, she's an actress. That's the actress.
I think so.
Yes, yeah. I will definitely link you in. And I know I actually conversed with her recently, so get a little sidebar conversation. She had gone to Edinburgh and back, and was part of a festival, and she was just saying she's so super busy. Her career has taken off. So a couple of messages I had sent her, she wasn't able to reach out to me on, but I will definitely link you in for sure. For sure, Jack. Thanks for that. Do we have any questions from your perspective in the field that you're working in, Jack, or in terms of arts and creativity, and your thoughts on mental health and accessible services? I know we've talked about accessible services before.
So what does mental health do actually?
Mm-hmm. And do you want to take that one?
Oh, what does mental health do?
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of different mental health illnesses, and they all do different things, or sometimes they have very similar things, but it could be anything from feeling very sad, depression, and not getting out of bed, um, or hearing voices in your head if you have schizophrenia, or am I answering your question correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So there's bipolars, which means you can be very happy and then very extremes, like very happy, then very, very sad. So there's a lot of different mental health with different affecting you in different ways.
Mhm. And that's a good question, Jack, as a young person who's exploring the world yourself. I mean, I'd like to say that we all are dealing with mental health every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that that's
Yes.
important to embrace as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
that we get up every day and, where does our day begin? Right. And how do we navigate the day? Right. So we all come at it with different challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and some may add some extra layers of challenges on there as well. Right.
Yes, for
And what do we
sure.
use? What are the tools that we use? You get up with the toolkit. Ximena gets up with the toolkit. I have one. What tools am I going to sharpen for the day? Right? We all
Mm-hmm.
sharpen the tools at different times. We may not all need them at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abs- yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I can speak a little bit about what I do when I'm feeling maybe a little nervous or anxious. I try to do some mindfulness, like a meditation, take like a 10-minute meditation or a nice walk with my dog in the park. And then of course there's always the art.
Nice. This is a sidebar thing. Do you sing at all? Just out of curiosity. Do you
Me?
sing? Yes.
No.
It's often no. So someone in your family does, but you don't absolutely.
No, no. I don't sing. But here at the studio, there's people that
Yeah.
sing. And we did have like a music program where they wrote songs sang and play guitar, and before my time, they actually recorded a CD. So,
Really? Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
incredible. So again, just different tools that we all use to kind of,
Mm,
navigate our way through the each day. We're lucky to
mhm,
kind of get up every day and, how are we embracing the day? What are we going to use? And, for some people
mhm.
it's singing, some others it's, abstract art. It might be, community mindfulness, individual mindfulness, a whole variety of things that we can use, Jack.
Writing in a
So
journal.
writing in a journal and which I find so amazing, like the ability to be able to write is so
Mhm,
cool and quite complex actually when you think
mhm.
about it, that when someone takes that on. That's neat. And
Yes.
it doesn't have to be, but it can start out with just,
Mhm.
jotting and then, expanding upon there, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I know we have a couple more things. So if someone wanted to reach out to you, how could they
Mhm.
get in touch?
Okay. They could get in touch via email, which is should I say it out or
Sure,
write
and
it
you
in
can,
the
yeah,
okay.
and I can always
It's
add it in later.
okay, it's X Moreno, my
Oh,
last name, at gsch.ca. Or phone me at 416-203-2711 extension 4255.
okay, and if they were asking for your name again on that extension one more time.
Ximena Moreno.
Okay, so remembering the X is sound.
Ximena.
He, just like he. That's
Hmm.
awesome. So that's a good way to reach out. And what are your words of wisdom for anyone struggling to find light? Perhaps a message of hope as we wrap up the
Hmm.
program today.
Um, well, first of all, to know that you're not alone. And second, it's always finding kind of a community space or looking for a community where you'll probably find support and people that are like here struggling, having the same struggles. So community, I guess I'd have to go to art as well. Yes. And
Mhm.
my message of hope is just like you're not alone. Um, when you're suffering, ask for help, whatever, however that may look. There's so many resources, and reach out to someone that can help you find those resources, or yeah, talk to someone.
On those
Hmm.
final words of wisdom, it's just been a great, great opportunity to speak with Ximena Moreno. And I've just learned so much. I felt so comfortable with you. And I hope that our guests have as well too, and our people listening in. So I just thank you very much for your special way, and
Hmm.
sharing your knowledge and guidance in this topic of conversation and arts, creativity, healing, and recovery. We have been here with Youth Connections Cafe, Bell Let's Talk. Thank you and shout out to Moksha Canada Foundation for allowing us to be here on this platform. And once again, I wanted to thank our guest attendee, Jack, for being a part of this as well today, listening and tuning in. And should you want to reach out, we'll make sure that we put some links in our YouTube chat, so that people can reach out to you as well too if they're not able to tune in today. Alrighty, well, thank you so much, and we look forward to connecting again. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.